Are you fire retarded? Let's find out. So, I was posed a question today about fire retardant gear. So, we're going to talk about that a little bit. And hopefully, you may find that enlightening. If you're new to training, prepping, or gear, whatever, you probably can't tell the difference right off the bat about what gear is fire retardant, what gear is not fire retardant, why do I want or need fire retardant gear, etc. So, first example we're going to have is frog pants. Frog pants, usually if you're buying this used, it's going to be faded more than the other combat pants and blouses you see. Frog pants lose color pretty fast. I don't know why. Probably something to do with the chemical treatment they do. Now, frog pants for the Marine Corps and the Navy are going to have this logo. On the Navy pants, the symbol is different, but it has this square patch that says frog on it. I don't know about Army equipment. I don't live near an Army base. I don't have access to a lot of Army gear. What I have been around my whole life is Marine Corps and Navy gear. So that's what most of our examples will be. And that's what I like to use because of my area as well. But so you're going to have your frog tag, and you're going to have your other standard tags, which has all the other information that most of your modern U.S. combat pants and blouses have. So what's good about these is they are a mixture of cotton and I believe rayon or nylon. Let's figure it out. Yep. So this is a mixture of cotton, rayon, and nylon. And it's also treated with flame retardant chemicals. Now those chemicals wear out after about a year. The composition of the fabric is designed in a way where if it does catch on fire, that it shouldn't melt and drip and fuse to your skin, which has been very unfortunate for some of our service members. So, one thing to keep in mind, I could not find any information about the temperature at which this protects you from. So anything that's fire retardant, right, or fireproof has a maximum amount of exposure time and temperature and stuff like that. I cannot find the temperature. That's important knowledge to have when choosing to wear this to protect against a threat, because it could be futile. Now, the fabric composition is still good because if you do catch on fire, it's not going to melt and stick to you, right? But that 3 to 4 seconds of flash protection, which is what these provide, by the way, it's only like 3 to 4 seconds of flash protection. They won't tell me what temperature that is at which it protects you from flash. It also loses that flash protection after a year. It does not lose that nice non-drip effects though. This Patagonia top is not fire retardant, but it is a no drip fabric. And in reality, as far as I'm aware, what no drip means is that essentially the cotton just absorbs the nylon before it absorbs into your skin, as opposed to a cotton poly blend where, for whatever reason, due to the composition or the ratio or just how polyester works, that polyester has a good chance of fusing to your skin. Like these large, long men's proper pants, these are like a 60 poly, 40 cotton. If these caught on fire and you were wearing these, that would be very bad. Also, these are a large, long, and I will sell these to you for very cheap if you want them. They're Ranger Green, they're brand new. But if you were like using these in an overt setting where IEDs and Molotovs were a big hazard to you, wouldn't want to wear that. So, that brings us to why would you need fire retardant equipment? Essentially, if you're operating overtly and getting caught on fire, getting lit on fire is a hazard to you. If you're like one of these gray men, right, or maybe you're like a Minuteman, right? Which I'm not saying these things derogatorily or anything. I'm just saying if you view yourself as like a, you know, some kind of prepper, bug out guy or whatever, fire retardant gear is probably not that important to you because you're probably not being targeted with something like a Molotov. Not saying you're not, but it's probably not that important, especially since you don't want to stick out. Also, the original fire retardant combat top. This is just like a traditional old school wool field top. Multiple European countries use tops that look like this. This one happens to be finished, but you could probably find 3 other identical ones for different countries. Wool is fire retardant. So as far as fire retardant underwear goes, that's probably where I'd put most of your thought into, because no one wants to have their genitals melted off in molten polyester. So I'd avoid things like Hanes Cool Dry underwear and compression underwear, and wear something like U.S. Marine Corps issued Frog underwear, which they do make. It is long, so that might not be awesome for summertime, but it is better than having stuff melt to your skin, and it's another added layer of protection. So if that outer layer fails, you still have that inner layer that's also Frog rated. Other options would be just wearing cotton underwear, which is not fire retardant, but it won't melt to your skin like polyester. Of course, the issue with cotton in the summertime is that it's not moisture wicking at all, and it gets horrible and nasty and disgusting and can contribute to chafing. The best option is merino wool. Anything merino wool. If you can get a merino wool sweater for wintertime, if you can get merino wool underwear, even merino wool thin boxer briefs for year-round wear, that's the best thing you could possibly do. Not only is it fire retardant, it's also moisture wicking and antimicrobial. So unlike your waffle shirt, which gets stinky after 2 days, the merino wool, shirt is not going to get all gross like that. Unless you're some kind of genetic freak that's just super nasty and your bodily fluids permeate things unnaturally. But merino wool is phenomenal. It's, of course, expensive. And then things like this, which are made out of regular wool, can be itchy. And if you're sensitive, that's not awesome for you. You do get used to it, though, if you make yourself wear this kind of gear. Yeah, so basically, things to consider is, do you actually need fire retardant gear? If you have the option, why not just get fire retardant gear? If you are buying gear like this, that's meant to be used, like, overtly, right? Then why not get the fire retardant gear? It's usually not that much more expensive. And I think it's overall better. And if you're not getting fire retardant gear, at least look at what your fabrics are made out of, right? If you're going to do something, probably don't wear a 100% polyester sweater like this one. Maybe wear a cotton one, or a cotton rayon or a cotton nylon blend, right? Of course, didn't bring it out. You have your plate carrier is another thing. If you are going to run a plate carrier, please get a fire retardant one. If you're running a plate carrier, you're probably doing something pretty overt at that point in time. Fire retardant. Plate carrier is a giant piece of plastic. If that catches on fire, that could be very unpleasant for you. Dripping on you. Mag pouches. Probably not as important as having your plate carrier fire retardant, but things like Eagle Industries does make their stuff fire retardant. Now that fire retardant protection probably doesn't last more than a year, as with the clothing. That's information that's been hard for me to find, but definitely worth keeping in mind. Getting stuff like Eagle Industries is pretty high quality gear at a pretty affordable price, in my opinion. This is a rare Knights Armament marked SLR mag, but mag pouch. But yeah, that's another thing to keep in mind. And also thinking about, like, I like to run older Alice gear. That stuff's just straight nylon, it's not fire retardant. So, might not be the smartest thing for me. Of course, there's a difference between wearing some nylon straps like Alice gear and running a full-on plate carrier from Condor that has no fire retardation treatment. Now, some cheaper stuff, like Condor, does have some fire retardant offerings, which you can definitely explore. They sell a pretty cheap fire retardant combat top, if I'm correct about that. So if that's something you want, that's a place to go. But yeah, if you guys have any questions about fire retardant equipment, feel free to hit me up in the comments. Sorry if this is like super rambly or cringe, but I don't really edit my stuff because I'm lazy. And yeah, that's all I got for today. If you want more examples of gear breakdown and equipment, I can talk about more gear. I'm no expert, but this is something I've been doing for a few years, and a lot of this stuff have been around for a long time. So basic knowledge like this I can definitely spread to newcomers.